SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Waiting. You do it at grocery stores, in traffic, and at the doctor's office. But what if you could skip the wait altogether? Introducing Trust Care Plus, a healthcare membership that makes feeling better even faster. Skip the waiting room and enjoy priority access at any Trust Care clinic. Sick kid? Text your care crew day or night. Get discounts on prescriptions and so much more. Wait no more. Feeling better just got a whole lot faster. Join Trust Care Plus today. Plans start from just $15 a month. Learn more at trustcarehealth.com/plus.
We'll pre-record on my count. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Roll A, fade up on A.
Southern Miss to the top. You're tuned in to the Eagle Hour.
Live from the Southern Bancorp Studios in Hattiesburg, it is the Eagle Hour on this week of Thanksgiving. Glad that you're with us on the program today. We're going to be joined momentarily by volleyball coach Jenny Hazelwood. The women were beaten by eventual tournament champion Arkansas State, but man, did they play hard. We're going to talk about what's next now for the Eagles in the offseason. Mondays with Marchant. We'll be in the second segment. We'll talk about the football loss at South Al this weekend, where South Alabama, I guess, continues to be our daddy, so to speak, when it comes to football anyway. Well, we don't do much better in basketball. I don't know what it is about South Al, but Marchant Kenney will join us in the second segment. Then the third and fourth segment, we're going to talk basketball in detail with our guest host, Tate Ryder, former Southern Miss basketball player who prepped at Oak Grove, now coaching at Petal High School, and you had to beat your alma mater, Tate. What's up with that?
I mean,
Petal beating Oak Grove?
I love Oak Grove, man, but I guess they didn't want me, so it is what it is now. Boy,
the first punch has been thrown, I guess, in the basketball career of Tate Ryder. Joining us now as we remind you that Dickey's Barbecue Pit is the sponsor of our first segment. I don't know if it's too late for Thanksgiving or not, but I know all the side dishes they'd have ready for you, and I'm sure they'd probably work in a last-minute order for you at Dickey's Barbecue Pit. Smoked here, loved everywhere, and big fans of Southern Miss athletics. Jenny Hazelwood is at the LAX, and Bob Getty, who's on vacation today, he'll rejoin us tomorrow. He hates when I talk in airport codes like LAX and the ATL. But she's at the LAX now, taking care of some family business. But Coach Hazelwood, I spoke with you this past weekend. I felt so bad, but yet so proud for your young women. I don't think I've seen a team put themselves on the line like your women did at the tournament against Arkansas State. They played so hard, and I really thought that you guys were going to get that third set. But as we mentioned, Arkansas State wound up winning the whole thing. It was just a great effort. Didn't turn out the way you did, but, man, they made us proud.
Yeah, absolutely. So proud of this team really all season long. It just fighting and battling every match that we played. And, as coaches, we're telling them, you got to take one match at a time. And I feel like they really did that and gave it their all. And, won the first round of the conference tournament against Georgia State, and then to lose to the eventual champions. And it's a team we split with in the regular season. And so, but look, Arkansas State played hard, and they're really good, very complete volleyball team. So they'll represent the Sun Belt well in the conference, in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and they beat JMU in 4 sets to win the championship. But here's something a lot of people might not know about Arkansas State. Coach Hazelwood, they just garnered their eighth conference championship. I mean, do they ever have a bad season at Arkansas State in volleyball?
They had a few down years after a coaching change that I think just comes with the changeover in general. And then their head coach, that's there, Brian, he just has done a fantastic job of just building it right back up. And they just done for years and years and years, done great things at Arkansas State. And, that's exactly where, I feel like we're headed, where we want to have a program year in and year out that's competing to win championships.
So as you now look at the cupboard for next year, the talent cupboard, how full would you say it is, and where are we going to go to get some what you perceive to be our deficiencies, if there are any at this point?
Yeah, we only had one senior in Brent Botkin, and so, I think that I know we have a lot of talent returning. And obviously, the transfer portal opens up December 7th. And so as we have meetings, end-of-year meetings, we'll learn more. But I think we're in a really good spot. And then, we've got some players that we signed in November coming in, and, I think they're going to make a big impact too, in just the longevity of building an incredibly talented. But we had a bunch of freshmen that didn't play as much this year because, they're freshmen and they're learning, but by the end of the season, able to contribute even more. And so, our youth is really, really strong too. And so just combining it all together, we're going to be that program that just is super solid across the board in all positions.
As we are getting more and more used to the transfer portal, is there any data across the country that tells us what volleyball coaches, on a percentage-wise, can generally expect to return compared to those that leave via the transfer portal for whatever reason?
Yeah, I don't know that anybody's compiled all the data in any place that I've seen. Of course, I'm not on message boards or any of that kind of stuff, so right. That someone could ask. But I think it just varies, really. You've got, a number of big volleyball programs paying a lot of money, and, then everything in between. And so, I think it's just going to be, year after year seeing the cycle, and then our athletes going to, maybe try to make that leap sooner. I think there are other sports that are kind of further along that, like I think in men's basketball, I think a lot of them transfer like regularly. So hopefully volleyball's not going to that. I think that's a pretty tough place to be. I think a person, if you're an outsider looking in, and I know Tate Ryder, like Indiana and a lot of these states are known for basketball. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing, Coach Hazelwood, that California, and a lot of the western states probably were the first ones to put volleyball on the map, or has it evened out some? For sure, in the early days or whatever, California volleyball was really where it's at. The former Pac-12 was just the top volleyball conference. And even before the Pac-12 was no longer, the Big Ten really rose in prominence in volleyball. The SEC obviously is adding programs like Texas, who's year in, year out competing for national championships. I'd say it's definitely spread out a lot more across the country, from collegiate programs that are just playing at super high level. But then you're seeing that really in the high school. The Midwest has unbelievable volleyball. Texas, of course, unbelievable volleyball. But, you can really find great players all across the country. I know
when Sun Belt Conference basketball comes up, fans of Sun Belt basketball lament the fact that no matter what happens, it's a one-team league as far as the postseason tournament goes. Doesn't matter that you win 30 games. You're a one-team league. What's the status of volleyball in the Sun Belt? Also a one-team league for volleyball?
We've had at any given year, we've had 4 teams get in the NCAA tournament. So the automatic qualifier and 3 at large. It's all an RPI type game. This year you've got James Madison and Texas State are kind of right there with their RPIs being super high. And, having a chance, and then it's going to come down to comparing their resume to other teams on the bubble. And so, I think that we've done all we could trying to make sure that scheduling is what it is to get those RPI points, right, and, trying to get as many teams in as possible.
So what does your gut tell you about JMU and Texas State?
Honestly, I have to think that, any of the bracketology that does show up on my social media has us only getting one team in.
Okay.
I'm hopeful for JMU. Texas State's going to be a little harder. They had a point in the middle of the season where they lost a few that might look bad on their resume. But look, if the other bubble teams are in that same boat, Texas State is playing unbelievable volleyball right now too. So, if they do get in, I think they'd be a great representation of our league. And JMU is just incredibly talented. So we have a lot of really good volleyball teams in the Sun Belt.
In your tenure, Coach Hazelwood, have you ever had this much talent coming back, all things being equal, that everybody will indeed come back?
No, not when, not in the key contributor and experience. Like we have so much. I mean, Sadie Makeda is going to be, entering her 4th year this next year, and just having that kind of experience along with a lot of talent returning. Sonny Shepard, she's been a starting libero for the last 2 years, so going on her 3rd year with that. It just that kind of experience returning with your elite level talent is something we've not had since I've been here.
Well, that's great news. That is great news. Yeah. And again, I just felt they played so hard, and all you ever want to see is teams be rewarded for the effort that they put forth. But again, Arkansas State went on to win the volleyball tournament, beating JMU in 4 sets. So Arkansas State has punched its tickets to postseason play. Coach Hazelwood, safe travels back from L.A., and thanks for your time on the Eagle Hour today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Coach Jenny Hazelwood of the women's volleyball team. Hey, reminder from Forest Health that keeping up with your favorite team is fun this time of year, but don't forget that the most important player is you. Don't forget to get your annual physical to be sure that your health is as good as it can be. Forest Health can help with expert medical care close to home. Look them up online, foresthealth.org. That's Forest with 2 R's, like Forest County. foresthealth.org. It's Mondays with Marchant. We break down a disappointing football defeat at the hands of South Al when the Eagle Hour continues in just a moment.
Big news from Robinson Electric Supply in Laurel. We've moved. You'll now find us directly behind our old building, right by Sawmill Animal Hospital. We're still your trusted electrical distributor, carrying everything from conduit to tape. And don't forget our full line of Milwaukee tools. Whether you're a contractor or a DIY pro, stop by the new Robinson Electric Supply at 1222 West 6th Street and see what's lighting up Laurel. Robinson Electric Supply. New location, same trusted service.
The Eagle Hour. Southern Miss to the top.
This segment of the Eagle Hour brought to you by Eagle Tire West. They invite you to come by for premium Goodyear products, full auto and truck service at Eagle Tire West, next to Smith Motor Company on Highway 98 West in Hattiesburg. Family operated since 1985, Eagle Tire and Eagle Tire West. Goodyear Tires, full service, and big Southern Miss supporters. Proud to be a sponsor here of our Eagle Hour program. Now going to the state of Louisiana, it's Mondays with Marchant. Marchant Kenney joins us. Kelly Sanner along with special co-host Tate Ryder and producer-engineer Michael Mergens. And Marchant, as we begin this segment, our buddy Lee Ramsey Smith, has just texted us saying that one of the booking agencies, one of the gambling sites, has listed Troy as a 6.5-point favorite coming in here to Hattiesburg this weekend. What in the world is going on here?
Yeah, if you base things on the last 2 weeks and what we've seen, it makes sense. I mean, we have not looked good as a football team overall. I don't know where the defense went. Anybody found it? Tate, you found it?
I mean, I don't know where it is either.
I don't know where it went. So if you base it off the last 2 weeks and the way things are trending, yeah. But is it frustrating as a Southern Miss fan to see that? Absolutely. I mean, we had the Sun Belt in the palm of our hands, and here we are.
Well,
hey, real quick, Kelly.
Yeah.
You got Tate Ryder on. Are you kidding me?
Hey, man, we get the varsity, man.
I didn't know I was coming on with a special holiday, Mondays with Marchant. I didn't know I was coming on the best day.
Look, one of my favorite Southern Miss moments, and arguably one of the better pictures that just defines college basketball, Tate Ryder in the corner, about to drain a 3 against Western Michigan to seal it. And then, I mean, the picture that came out, it's everything that's great about college sports, with the bench all jacked up. But I was courtside that game. I got lucky with those seats. And after the pick's done, Tate talk smack from the free throw line, opposing free throw line, all the way down to the baseline, and didn't stop. And you know me, I loved it. The buzzer goes off. Tate's still talking smack. So yeah, we got Tate Ryder on. Forget about me.
Yeah, Tate Ryder's like the Chihuahua to the Bulldog, right? I mean,
always. I couldn't help it, man. I couldn't help it. Never could.
That was the best, man. The best.
Well, some of the things that are really concerning to me, Marchant, about well, first of all, credit Charles Huff, because he said pretty much we stink right now. We got to get this right, and we will get it right. But some things that jump out to me when you sift through all these numbers. Southern Miss's rushing yards, 41 for the entire game. South Al had 263 yards rushing. All right, Texas State the week before gashed the Southern Miss defense for a lot of yardage on the ground. Kentrell Bullock, 2 touchdowns, one of 15 yards, one of 26 yards, the running back for South Al, and then Keenan Phillips, one for 13 yards. The run defense has been most noticeably absent. And look, this isn't going to be any secret that Troy's going to try to come in here and run the football because the Eagles have shown no aptitude to be able to stop it.
Yeah, and I could break this down as deep as you want, but what's going on the past 2 weeks is pretty crystal clear. It's two-phase. Opponents have decided you can run straight at us. And just for whatever reason, we don't load the box very often, and that makes it hard on a linebacker, for example, to take on a blocker coming right at you with a quick dive play. You see, we're getting gashed left and right. They're just putting a hat on a hat and going. And then the other bad part right now, too, is quarterbacks are having a hard time getting off blocks. The last 2 weeks, people saw a weakness in our cornerbacks, and these quick hitters where they're putting doubles and trips out there and just getting a wide receiver on a DB, and it's just causing big play after big play. And, you know, offensive coordinators are looking at Coach Seymour's scheme and see what he's done, but they've decided to attack personnel. And this late in the season, the only thing you do on defense right now is hopefully Coach Huff is challenging the heck out of those guys, because that's what's going on. They're looking at personnel that the opposing teams think are weak enough to attack consistently. And there you go.
You know, the Eagles only lost by 7 points on Saturday, but if you really want to look at this analytically, you know, when South Al got ahead by a certain amount of points, they don't play the type of defense that they would have been playing. So I hesitate to use the word garbage points, but they knew that the game, they had control of the game, and Southern Miss was able to score some late points. But another concern for me, and let's talk about this, you guys, is the last 2 weeks, Southern Miss has been hit with uppercuts and lefts and rights in the first half and just hasn't been able to respond. I mean, they got hammered by Texas State in that first half that had a lot of the crowd leaving, saying there's no way we're going to make up. Same thing, 28-7. They trail at half at South Al. The start, apparently, is crucial, Marchant, because they just haven't been able to come back.
Oh, the last 2 weeks, the first halves of football and both have just been abysmal. I don't know how else to put it. At halftime, unless you don't know football, it felt like this is over already. No spark to see that we're going to come back. And yeah, the score is way closer than indicated as we continue our woes against South Al. But, you know, Bob, you know, we could, you know, harp on the negative, but let's just stress this, man. It's one game left.
Yeah, that's where we're going next. That's where we're going next.
Yeah, okay. And there's so much to break down, and it's like the Twilight Zone being a Southern Miss fan the past 2 weeks. I can't explain it. So, but go next. Tee it up, Kelly. Tee it up.
Braylon Braxton did throw for 3 touchdowns and 400 yards. And it's been a while since anybody has done that for Southern Miss. Carl Chester with 2 TDs, 52 and 11 yards, and then Micah Davis had one for 29 yards. And Coach Huff has been getting the word out. Look, the last 2 weeks have been bad, but we're going to get this right. And quite frankly, Marchant, they've got to, or the only game they've got left is a bowl game. A lot of people.
They have to.
Yeah.
They have to. I mean, this is it. This is do or die. And, man, wouldn't that break the hearts of Southern Miss fans after the season we've had and all of a sudden lose to Troy, 3-game losing streak, and, you know, back into a bowl? It would take a lot of luster off. It would. So this week is everything for us. And Kelly, Tate, you know, we were pretty bad in football the past few years. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But before this season, I think if they would ask you Tate, you Bob, well, you Kelly. Bob's not there today. Well, Bob, if you're listening, and me, hey, the last game of the season against Troy, you're going to be playing for the West Division to get to the Sun Belt Championship. I think everybody would have taken it. Am I wrong?
No,
100%.
Yeah, and I do think human nature is always to stress the negative for whatever reason. We always seem to go to the negative. But you're absolutely right, and that's the message that Coach Huff is getting out. Look, we've got championship football here this weekend. This is what you wanted before the season started. And you still have that opportunity.
Yeah, so much to play for still in the season. I mean, can still finish it with a bang. Got a lot going on still.
And not have just one game, but two, a championship game and then a bowl game, which would be unprecedented.
You get it right against Troy. Who knows? Get hot, and then all of a sudden you're in a similar vibe game to 2011 with Larry Fedora when they're facing undefeated Houston. Nobody gave us a chance, and we absolutely took it to them. Well, James Madison could be teed up for that kind of event that we still talk about to this day. So we got to get through this week, and this is the one. This is it.
Yeah, but the thing that one of the other concerns, and look, our job is just to put it out there, is you got two teams that are going in opposite directions. You've got Troy, which is now resurgent the past 2 or 3 weeks, and the Eagles have kind of gotten in their own way. So you got two teams going in separate directions. You got to hope that the Eagles get things right, but you also have to kind of hope that Troy can't figure something out. And Marchant, 2 weeks in a row, teams have been able to run it down the Eagles' throats. What gives? I mean, what?
Like I said, we're running into 2 weeks of offensive coordinators that are attacking personnel, not necessarily what they see on the field, and they see weaknesses and a running game, run defense, just go right at them. And that's defense coordinator Jason Seymour challenging these guys to give everything they got and get off blocks and don't let this happen again. I mean, really challenging them. And then the cornerbacks, they all of a sudden got to get off blocks, man. Have to. I mean, these little quick hitters are killing us.
So one of the things I'm looking for this weekend, you guys, is seriously the first half. Mm-hmm. I mean, and if the Eagles go down at 10 points at half, 10 I can deal with.
Right.
But when you're getting down 28, 24 at half, I don't care who you are. At the Division I level, that's tough to recoup.
Yeah, absolutely it is, man. And I am – the start of the games have been pretty frustrating, too, in general, because if you know first drives, it seems every game this season, the team's taking it down methodically. They've gotten a touchdown or in the field goal. They got to come out the gates fast. Have to. It's just a mentality right now that they got to erase this first half performance. I don't know what in the world is going on in the locker room before the game, but it's got to change ASAP.
And I'll tell you what, if the Eagles are able to shut down the running attack of Troy, this could be a blowout. Southern Miss could win by 24 points, which would be an exclamation point for a great season.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, a few weeks ago we felt like that. We're going to win this. This one looked easy in a way with the way we were playing. And the possibility is there for it to look easy if we just get our act together. And I don't know what's going on, but Coach Huff, if you're listening, man, come on, get these guys going. This is important.
Southern Miss great. Marchant Kenney, thanks for joining us. Mondays with Marchant. Thanks, buddy.
No, yeah. Kelly, have a great day. Tate Ryder, you man.
Yes, sir. Always good to see you, Mr. Kelly.
Marchant laying low because it's Thanksgiving this week. All turkeys lay low this week. We're going to talk basketball with Tate Ryder when the Eagle Hour continues in a moment.
You're tuned in to the Eagle Hour. The Eagle Hour. Southern Miss to the top.
DBAT sponsors this third segment of the Eagle Hour right off of Interstate 59 on Hardy Street. The indoor facility to have your softball or baseball players who like to do the travel ball. But, well, it's open to anybody, of course. But DBAT, where you want to get those indoor cuts and swings, if it's cold outside, doesn't matter. If it's raining outside, doesn't matter. DBAT can always take care of you, and you might want to do some Christmas shopping there, some great stocking stuffers, including a membership. DBAT, glad to support Southern Miss, Golden Eagles, and this program. Home repair, home remodeling, home construction, everything you need for your next project, home, lawn, or garden is available at MCS Home Center in Bellevue. I was just there this morning, was in need of a socket set. I would have no idea how to use one. My neighbor just said, get one, and I'll take it from there. MCS is Hattiesburg's new home improvement center with local folks eager to help you at 7329 Highway 98 West. Just go past the 589 interchange, and it's right there on your right. Now, before we get talking basketball, let's set the record straight, okay? Most betting services have Southern Miss a 6.5-point favorite. Yep. Not an underdog. Okay, so that needs to be cleared up. Okay, the Eagle, because I was a little shocked at that.
Oh, big time.
That Troy, as well as they're playing, would be a touchdown favorite here at the Rock, but Southern Miss is a 6.5-point favorite. Okay, so we got that straightened out. Now, great news for basketball over the weekend when you really weren't sure, particularly on the men's side, kind of like Forrest Gump said, the box of chocolates, you weren't sure what you're going to get. The men playing pretty good basketball right now. Let's start with the women. 86-60 winners over Nichols over the weekend. Carly Keats, how about the way that Carly Keats is playing? She's in Philadelphia, Mississippi. She was 8 for 12 from the floor. That's almost 67%. But get this, Tate Ryder, 67% from the three-point area. So how do you defend that?
I guess you just got to hope she misses. Run her off the line. I wouldn't want her at 66% shooting the ball against me.
At least put a hand in her face or something. Right? But they defeated Nichols to stay undefeated. They forced – now, in a regular game, Tate, I'm just going to quiz you now as a coach. What's a good consistent number of turnovers that you think your team should be able to create and hope that they can create?
I think in college basketball, if you can force 12 to 15 turnovers, you're sitting pretty good. That's what you'd hope for.
Guess how many the Lady Eagles forced Nichols into? 24.
Yeah, that'll do it every time.
24 turnovers the Lady Eagles forced in that 26 win over Nichols. Here's something else I think that is worth noting. The women's attendance at Reed Green was announced at 3,121.
That's big time. I can't even say I'm shocked, though. Bilderback, I'm a huge fan of both Chip and Miss Missy. But, I can't say I'm surprised. I felt like she was going to have it going on.
Well, they are undefeated. Mm-hmm. I mean, nobody's figured out how to beat them. But meanwhile, the men now have climbed above the 500 mark, winning the tournament down in Pensacola this weekend. Let's start with Saturday. Well, they won Saturday, and then Sunday they defeated UT Martin for the championship. That was a 70-60 final. Now, they never trailed the Skyhawks in that game, and we had talked about Isaac Taveras, that he was kind of the guy that made this team go. Mm-hmm. And up to this point, he has led just about scoring just about every game except for one. And that one that he didn't was Talik Weeks' turn to lead the team in scoring. Well, Weeks was named the tournament MVP. He scored 14 on Sunday, but over the weekend he averaged 25.5 points. So you had the guys when practice started in October, and obviously you keep your ear to the ground and a finger on the pulse of Southern Miss basketball. Mm-hmm. From where they were in October to where they are now, talk about the differences.
I think and like you said, I was pretty close with the team still, October and stuff. I was still around a little bit, so saw some practices. And I've always thought that this team, they played really hard. They practiced really hard, and I still see that. I just think that, like, right now they're really understanding their roles a little more. People are stepping into their roles. People are understanding what Coach Ladner wants them to do, and I think that's why this team's coming together a little bit. Is just because when you are a star in your role, sky's the limit. Just play how you're supposed to.
And the thing that you really need to be careful of with this team is Isaac Taveras has, if you pardon the phrase, has some Latin blood in him, right? Mm-hmm. So sometimes he can kind of lose his cool pretty quickly, but he's been pretty steady so far. But that's something you got to be careful with him.
Fiery guys, all those Latin guys, and Neftali was the same way. They get fired up. They're competitors. They want to win, And I mean, it's like you said, though, he's held it together, but you can tell he's got that competitive side in him, and he wants to win.
So what are they, besides settling into their roles, what are they doing better now, you think, from, of course, practice when it just gets started? You really don't. And it's a brand new team still.
I think offensively, it's like you just brought up the turnover margin. I think they've been taking care of the ball better. And I know against UT Martin, at least watching, it looked like we were getting in our sets a little better, running stuff with a little more pace, and just doing stuff the way Ladner wants to do it. And I think that's a big thing with us right now is they're just running their stuff and getting the right looks. And
one of the other questions that a lot of people have is it's not necessarily how good are you or your team, it's how good is everybody else in the conference. And how soon will it be, do you think, before teams in the Sun Belt will begin to separate themselves or not?
I think.
And what's a reasonable expectation of how good teams in the Sun Belt will or won't be?
I think every year it's pretty similar in the Sun Belt, or at least from my experience, it's, teams win at home, teams lose away. And if you can get a few, we always said this while I was playing at Southern, if you can win 2 or 3 away games, I mean, you're going to be sitting regular season pretty good, pretty nice to win the regular season. It's just, I mean, if the Golden Eagles can go knock off some wins on the road, I think we'll be sitting pretty good.
What's especially frustrating if you are a basketball fan, and Jenny Hazelwood, the volleyball coach, joined us in the first segment, and she said there have been times that Sun Belt Volleyball has had 3 or 4 participants in the postseason NCAA volleyball tournament. But what's especially frustrating as a Sun Belt basketball fan is it's next to impossible to get more than one team, even if they expand the field. Yep. If they do expand the field, would you anticipate that would change the complexion of the Sun Belt being able to get more than one team in?
I would like to say yes. It's just,
but no.
Yeah, you would like to say yes, but I still don't think it would change much. It would still take a team, winning 25 plus games probably to get a bid if you don't win the tournament.
Yeah, but when there was a coach here before, whose name we won't mention, but his initials are Donnie Tyndall. I mean, they won over 30 games and didn't get into the NCAA tournament, and I think they were the 6th or 7th seed in the NIT. Now, you talk about ultimate disrespect for the Sun Belt.
It's crazy, and it's really disappointing as a player or a coach that, you can win all of those games and it kind of doesn't go recognized by the NCAA. It's kind of like you're just playing. We used to say this: you're playing for a week. You got to be good that week. If you're not good that week, everything else matters. You want to win. You want to win them all, but just got to be playing good ball during the tournament.
And what's really awful is if you go into that tournament the number 1 seed and don't happen to be playing very well, which we've sampled that here as well.
I've lived that, and that it's not a good feeling. And I do think the Sun Belt is trying to do a better format, because I know whenever we were the number 1 seed a few years ago,
and we got beat.
Yeah, you have some buys. Right. I think it was a 2 or 3 round bye. So we ran into South Al, who had played 2 or 3 games in that arena. They're rolling. They got a chance to pick up some momentum, and they were playing good, and we hadn't played in a week and a half. So you got to kind of wake up, and we got a little shock there.
Man, I don't know what it is about that school down there.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
No, I don't think many people around here are, but part of it is just because they seem to have our number in just about everything.
I don't know what it is either. It's like we can have a really good team, and they could – what I think was not a great team, and it seems like it is competitive every single time and so hard to win, against them. I don't know what it is.
Now they've got a pretty good basketball team. If records indicate, it looks like South Al's going to be pretty good this year. Would you expect Old Dominion off to a pretty good start, Arkansas State off to a pretty good start, and a team that you said to look out for is Marshall this year?
I've watched a lot of Marshall just because one of my old coaches, Isaiah Carson, is now on the staff there. So I've watched Marshall a good bit, and I think they have a pretty good team, got a well-rounded group.
So what is the realistic expectation with this Eagle team, do you think, stacking it up against what you expect the Sun Belt to be? I'll tell you what, hold that thought. All right, we'll talk about that when we come back on our final segment. of the Eagle Hour. Don't forget you can check out the SuperTalk Eagle Hour podcast on the following formats: Apple, Audible, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube. You can ask Alexa or Siri to play the SuperTalk Eagle Hour. Tate Ryder is our guest host, and we'll continue to talk basketball after these commercial messages.
Big news from Robinson Electric Supply in Laurel. We've moved. You'll now find us directly behind our old building, right by Sawmill Animal Hospital. We're still your trusted electrical distributor, carrying everything from conduit to tape. And don't forget our full line of Milwaukee tools. Whether you're a contractor or a DIY pro, stop by the new Robinson Electric Supply at 1222 West 6th Street and see what's lighting up Laurel. Robinson Electric Supply. New location, same trusted service.
Southern Miss to the top. To the top. You're tuned in to the Eagle Hour.
This fourth segment of the Eagle Hour brought to you by 4th Street Bar and Grill. Now, you know, a lot of the kids are home for college, so 4th Street's going to be bustling this week. And one of the biggest nights of the year for the guys at 4th Street is Thanksgiving afternoon. I think they open up about 4 o'clock. You can follow them on their social media pages to find out the exact time. But, man, it is rocking on Thanksgiving night. I guess there's only so much of your cousins and in-laws that you can tolerate.
I might show up there.
And want to get away for a little while. Look, it is what it is. But there'll be plenty of things to do there besides get in touch with all of your former Southern Miss friends that have been away for a while. 4th Street Bar and Grill in the shadow of the rock on 4th Street right across the Highway 49 bridge. And, of course, Black Friday, this coming Friday, a lot of the internet sales are already going on. But if you're going to be out shopping, you need to recharge a little bit, and no better place to go than Mobay Beignet Company at 2902 Hardy Street. They don't even make the beignets until you order them. They can't get any fresher than that. Then with the powdered sugar and the different flavor of syrups that you can add to those, plus ice and ice cold and hot coffees, and I think it's supposed to be much cooler this weekend. So it'd be a great place to keep in mind, Mobay Beignet Company. Kelly Sander, producer, engineer Michael Mergens, and our guest co-host Tate Ryder, former Southern Miss basketball player, now a basketball coach in the public school system at Petal. Going into the break, Tate, I was asking you how do you see this Southern Miss team as it is now, stacking up to what we know, and we know it's still preliminary, as to how it would stack up in the Sun Belt against the other teams? Well,
as we know, it's Reed Green, very hard place to come into and get wins. So I think we'll do very well Sun Belt wise at home, and if we can chip away and get a few wins on the road, I think we finish probably middle of the pack. That's my expectations, and not a terrible place to be.
Right.
As far as the format goes, you get maybe a bye and get to play and get a little acclimated.
You get in that bottom half, it's nearly impossible.
Right. You're playing every single day. Got to fight all the way through.
And you know what? I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I agree 100%. It should be like that.
Yeah, because you don't want to minimize the regular season. In the old days, there were no such thing as postseason conference tournaments.
Really?
You played your full schedule. You played everybody twice, home and home. That was it. Whoever had the best record, you played everybody twice. Should be a pretty good barometer.
I agree, 100%. I agree.
And it takes out of the equation somebody getting hot that finished sixth during the regular season, but they get hot, as you mentioned, for 1 week, and then they're determined to be the conference champion.
Yeah, I wish that format was still around a few years ago, so we could have gone dancing.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I want to ask you too, as we get you here. Now, you've gone into the coaching ranks. Mm-hmm. You're both your parents are educators.
Yep.
All right, so that's in your DNA. But what attracted you to coaching?
I just love being competitive. I mean, even now, I went away from coaching for a few months and went and worked at Southern Tire Mart. And I felt like something was missing in my life. And I think it was just being able to go out and be competitive and try to win. And another thing is I think getting the best out of somebody and seeing someone be successful and knowing that you helped them reach their goals, I think that was a big thing with me. I really enjoy seeing people, do their best and fulfill what they could really become.
Yeah, and again, we talked about you folks being educators, but your dad was actually in coaching at different kinds of sports. Not the main ones, I think. Maybe swimming or track and field.
So when I was in middle school, he was the cross country coach, track coach at Oak Grove.
Okay,
yep.
So there you go. So the coaching, there it comes. Now coaching it, you played at the college level.
Right.
High school players are not college players. So what are you learning as a coach as to what you can coach and what you should coach?
I think the biggest thing, and I told someone this the other day, is like common knowledge or common like basketball knowledge is not so common. You gotta there's lingo and words that I think we used in college, and it's like, for instance, you call a play, and I could use a Spain, which a pick and roll into a Spain, like I know what that means, but maybe my guys don't know what that means. And I think that's the biggest difference. You have to really, really explain things and dumb it down in order to get the most out of your players.
Yeah, and you don't mean dumb it down in a bad sense.
No.
Keep it basic.
Like simplify it. Simplify.
Yeah. And you can't call high school kids names that you call each other.
Yeah, we got to stay away from that. Yeah.
The parents don't like that.
Not at all.
But and I've always said this, and it's not a secret. I've always thought that pound for pound, you were one of the best athletes, if not the best athlete that I ever had the opportunity to see play. Coming from Oak Grove High School, I think you could have been just as good a baseball player. But you liked basketball the most.
I did, and I think what really did it for me was as a freshman in high school, I had the opportunity to get pulled up to varsity basketball, and that didn't happen in baseball. So I was on the 9th grade baseball team playing varsity basketball, and I think in my mind something clicked, and I was like, maybe I'm a little better at basketball. And then I think I just fell in love with that and wanting to be really good at that, having that early success.
Well, looking back on it now, I don't think necessarily that you were better at basketball. I just think there were more people in front of you in baseball.
I 100% agree, 100%.
Than there was in basketball. Man, it's good to have you here.
Yes, sir. I'm glad to be on. I'll come back on anytime. This has been fun.
All right, Tate Ryder, with former Southern Miss basketball player, now a basketball coach at Petal High School. Tomorrow, we are going to be in Laurel to talk about Prancer Path, a big Christmas activity that's going to be taking place in Laurel. Bob Getty will rejoin us. Dima Mixon out for the entire week. So glad that you could join us. Until tomorrow at 1 o'clock from Laurel, we say Southern Miss to the top.
I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free.
Waiting. You do it at grocery stores, in traffic, and at the doctor's office. But what if you could skip the wait altogether? Introducing Trust Care Plus, a healthcare membership that makes feeling better even faster. Skip the waiting room and enjoy priority access at any Trust Care clinic. Sick kid? Text your care crew day or night. Get discounts on prescriptions and so much more. Wait no more. Feeling better just got a whole lot faster. Join Trust Care Plus today. Plans start from just $15 a month. Learn more at trustcarehealth.com/plus.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.